Okay.
And then fast forward even more.
Hey man,
17 years later.
This just sounds like smut. I don't. Your conspiracy theory is.
No.
I feel like you're not sharing a theory. You just wanted to hear.
No. I gotta let it
You
cook.
went through this, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I have to go through this. What you're making me do.
Let it cook.
Leftovers, 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 leftovers.
Welcome to my Leftovers podcast, and it's James.
This is Alex.
And today it's again cold.
Wait,
every time we start.
hold on. Sorry. Before you start, you have a plant here.
Yeah,
That's kind of nice.
like a succulent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really feels like we're in like a studio now.
Yeah, well, yeah, that little tiny plant.
Yeah.
on the tiny coffee table we record.
Yeah. It adds a little personality.
It does, right?
You know what
what
else?
I've noticed too?
Huh.
The more techie because I have a desk where all my computer setup is.
Uh-huh.
The more techie it gets, the more like sad I get. So I start adding like decorations, and it doesn't have to be like plants. It could be simple as like little sculptures and things like that, or little toys, knickknacks, and like honestly, it just livens it up. It makes me feel less sad.
You should buy like those balls that like once you like throw one in, it like hits the other one.
Oh,
it goes
the
back
Newton
and forth.
Cradle.
Yeah.
I want one so bad.
Yeah, there's
But
also
it would
the one-
distract me so much too.
There's also like the one from Iron Man, the one on his desk, and it was just kind of it's like a ball and it just like moves back and forth in like a really weird way.
Oh, I want that.
Yeah, that one's cool.
I love little physics toys like that.
Yeah, but this looks like really nice. I've also had like the idea that I'm like, you know what I should bring?
What?
I should bring like a little Funko Pop that I have or something like that, just to like give my personality a little bit in here, you know?
For an audio only podcast.
Yeah.
Funny enough,
It's
though,
for us.
it's enough to liven things up for us.
Yeah.
And I think it does. I think it just livens up our voice.
Yeah.
And that's all we have.
Gives us morale.
It gives us morale.
Yeah.
Something that a lot of other people don't have.
Yeah, speaking of those other people, who are those people? Name them, James.
So today we're gonna do it, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna finally hit the heavy topics.
We are.
We're gonna talk about my weight.
Oh man, I thought it was gonna be heavy, not that heavy.
Hey, dude.
Yeah.
One day you can be like, hey, man, you're beautiful.
Yeah, well then one day be beautiful.
Okay. You know what? I don't have to listen to an Uggo. Yeah, that's right. James Fights Back 2026.
2026, James went back.
James Fights Back.
Yeah.
Like it's a movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, Minneapolis is living in a movie right now,
Yeah.
and it's a scary one.
The worst type.
Yeah. So if you guys all know what's going on, why am I
Yeah.
gonna talk about it like this? You guys know what's going on. There's been 3 different shootings from ICE killing. We're gonna call it what it is, ICE
Yeah.
killings.
Yeah.
Right. It's really scary right now out
Yeah.
there. I think the number one that has been non-negotiable in terms of like what happened and what the aftermath is the recent one with the nurse.
Yeah.
Let's just break it down what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. When it comes to videos of things like this, as much as I want to just listen to what my what my algorithm tells me, because it's easy, I prefer to look at both sides of what happened, right? And I tried my best to find video of what happened before the nurse got shot.
Yeah.
And it looks like they were just recording.
They were just recording.
And then that lady that was getting kind of pushed back a little bit.
Yeah.
And when she got maced and whatever,
Yeah.
it looked like he was just trying to protect her.
He really was.
He was just trying to protect her. He did have his own firearm.
Yeah.
And then, he got pushed to the ground and he was disarmed. He was
Yeah.
disarmed on the ground. And then when he was on all fours, someone yelled gun or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they shot him.
Yeah. But here's the thing. He's allowed to have his gun, right?
And that's,
Like,
he had a, what'd you call it? A permit.
license to carry and stuff.
License to carry.
But then it's also the fact that like he had it on him. He probably told them that he's like guys, just so you guys know, I have a weapon on me. He was probably like notifying them. It wasn't like a thing of him being like, oh, I have this and I'm going to use it. You know,
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing where he was like pointing it at them.
Yeah, the way I see it is here. I'm gonna just stick to the facts. I'm not gonna assume anything from the situation because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, too, as much as I want to hate on all these ICE officers and things like that, I accept the fact that they've been poorly trained. And at the end of the day, they're gonna make human mistakes. This is not a human mistake,
No, it's
personally,
not.
but
No.
but they were poorly trained for this
sure.
situation because law enforcement, as it is, dude, the last thing they do is shoot. In
Yeah.
any state at this point, I mean, there's a few states where, shootings happen more than others from police. But even in those states, they tend to do so much protocol before. They're literally, okay, I'm going to get to my point. When he was on the ground and he got shot at, they yelled gun. He was already disarmed.
Yeah.
What it sounds like happened is whoever disarmed him basically said gun, like he has his gun, and it was a miscommunication. They didn't know how to communicate to each other. And one
Gotcha.
other officer decides to be like, you know what? Like, I heard gun. That means I need to shoot. right? Two issues with this. One, obviously miscommunication between the officers themselves.
Yeah.
And two, the worst issue is in most police confrontations that I've seen, because I follow one of those channels like Midwest Safety that does a lot of those body cam footage, you see how officers will not shoot when their other officers are that close. They will not shoot because they're in the line of fire, things like that. They're held to the highest standard when it comes to gun safety. And he just shot point blank while they were still on top of him. He's lucky he only shot, you know, it's sad, but he's lucky he only shot the nurse and he didn't shoot a fellow whatever you call him, right? Because at that point he couldn't have been saved.
No, for sure.
No, like the right is doing everything they can to protect this guy.
Yeah.
But he messed up.
There's no way that you can. Because here's the thing. Okay, say you were trying to make this guy fall down, right? Like you were trying to arrest him or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Just to get him out of the way. You don't need like 10 officers on one guy.
You know, I've heard that before too. And what I also believe is better safe than sorry when it comes to these kinds of things. Not this situation personally, but like when there is someone who's a legitimate threat, it is always better to do like as much as possible. So if it's just one guy that's a threat and there's 6 officers like there was here, right? If someone grabs ankle, someone grabs knees, someone grabs that, and you know, but we're talking about a real threat, not this guy, obviously.
You took the most threatening thing that he had.
Yeah. And the worst part is you have 6 officers on him and you can't subdue him.
Yeah.
What is that?
And one dude has a pistol and he's whipping him in the head with it.
Yeah. I don't understand. And obviously if you're hitting him, well, he's not, I don't think at any point he went at them in terms of like punching them, in terms of like maybe he did wrestle back a little bit because obviously he was not, I don't think he should have been you know, detained the way he was.
No, like the only thing that he was doing was that he pushed the girl back so that she was, you know, safe, and then he was just like, okay, now I'm gonna go down, and they were just on top of him, just beating him.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's all, you know, they just jumped the gun really fast. And the worst thing is, here's the thing I'm hearing on the onlines. Everyone says like, okay, you have the right to protest. Correct. You have the right to videotape and all that stuff. And yes, ICE officers and pretty much any officers in these high stress situations are going to push you back because they're human and they're not going to deal with it. These guys are poorly trained, so they're dealing with it even less than most people. I'm sorry, most officers. But what I'm hearing is like, why did he show up to a quote unquote peaceful protest with his firearm? And the issue I have is like, you understand he has the right to carry. Yeah. Just because you have your firearm with you doesn't mean you intend to use it. No. I think people who actually take gun safety seriously, they know what could happen. They know all this stuff. And then they're pointing out that his gun's super specced out and stuff like because it's a sight and all that stuff. Gun owners that I know and people that are in that world, they love to spec out their guns. And it wasn't like he had a crazy thing. He didn't have like a, what do you call it? It's like that little piece that you can put in that makes it an automatic. He didn't have like things like that. He just had like a sight and a few little grippy things. Like it wasn't anything crazy either.
Yeah, that argument's so weird. And then like, you know, because that's like the argument that the right is giving. But at the same time, when they had their guy, you know, Kyle Rittenhouse, it was just like, oh, all of a sudden that didn't count because it's like, no, he's allowed to carry it. Like, duh, it's part of our amendment rights to carry this. That's what's different about this situation was that his was hidden. The other guy's, Kyle's, his was out and about and it was a full semi-automatic.
And it's so frustrating because you can't interject your own personal belief into the two cases because when I see that argument online, everyone's like, well, Kyle Rittenhouse was protecting people. And then this guy, they're like, he was just there antagonizing the ICE officers. It's like, you can't do that. You can't put your own personal judgment on this. You have to look at it from the facts. Kyle Rittenhouse went over state lines. He went over state lines with his firearm to get involved in a protest that didn't have to do with his home area. He just felt strongly about it, which in a way, I guess legally he is allowed to do that. I don't know about the firearm across state lines like that though. But I guess if he did, if he didn't have a firearm, he would be technically okay to peacefully protest across like that. This guy, if you look at the facts, he legally had his firearm. He legally was allowed to protest. Well, he wasn't even protesting, was he? He was just recording it.
I mean, but he was part of like the protest. Right.
So at the end of the day, isn't it pretty much the same case? No, it's not.
It's not the same case because Kyle's was just out and about. He was like straight up strapped to his chest. And he was like walking around proud as hell as if he was gonna as if he was already like in war.
That's the thing. That's what it was. Kyle had the intent to use his firearm, either shoot it or intent to scare off anyone who was going to make harm around the area, whatever, right? And this guy, well, I mean, anybody who carries a firearm does it for personal safety.
Yeah.
They don't do it because like it's a cool thing. They do it for personal safety.
Yeah.
But I think the worst part is the way they're painting him. They're painting him as a domestic terrorist. They're painting him as this guy who meant to hurt as many people as possible because he had mags that weren't on him, I believe, right? Were they in his car or?
That I do not know.
I don't know either, but he did have extra mags. And then I don't get why they're painting him this way, because then you look into his actual real history. They haven't pulled up anything. They're only using that scenario and that's it.
Yeah.
With other people in the past, they've always pulled up things in their history like, oh, they've been pulled over before. They have a parking ticket, whatever, right? And they use that to make them look terrible. This guy, you can't. He's a nurse. I think the one thing I saw online of him pre like the shooting, he was helping say a prayer for a veteran who had fallen.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like this guy was not a bad guy.
He was just all around like a really good person. Like you bring up like also like the fact about the like when they pull up something that happened like in the past, like with George Floyd. Like
Right.
when he got killed, they were all like, oh, he had like a crime thing on him or whatever. Like he had like
Right.
something on his record. But it's like that had nothing to do with the moment that was happening. You're just trying to find any excuse to like make the guy seem out to be like a villain.
Yeah.
And then from what I've also seen about like the killing that happened, there was reports that in the UK they saw a different version of the video that we didn't see.
Right. We talked about that on in our group chat a little bit.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to send that to me and tell me about it, but I found it early, whatever.
Yeah.
The issue I have with that post is I haven't seen anything that feels like I didn't see the full footage, if that makes sense. So it's hard to, I do believe that there's probably maybe body cam footage.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm having a hard time believing that part only because I feel like every angle we've seen on X and all that stuff is it. None of the angles are like super blurry. I'm not gonna lie, they're not 4K.
Yeah.
Like, these guys need to up their phone games.
Yeah, because like from what I've seen or what I've heard is that the actual footage is a lot more gory than we actually saw.
Wow.
Because in the one that we saw, we didn't see any blood. There was nothing.
No.
You don't see any of that. But in like apparently like the real one, they say that there was a lot of gore, and the reason why that they're not showing it is because of the exact same thing that happened with Charlius Carcarius. Where once we all saw that, we all like a lot of people felt for it because of like how graphic it was, and like
we did.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like they know that emotes a fear in us or like a fear response, and they don't want that same response from us about this new video too.
Right. Because with the whole Charmeleon Crocodis, whatever, you know who we talk about. With that guy, even us who don't necessarily agree with, I think anything he says, really, I don't know. I haven't really listened to his stuff. It's just fun to see him argue with people, and then they argue back with points, and he argues with God.
And you're just like, actually, no, because I said so.
Actually, Leviticus 16 says, I am better.
Yeah, exactly.
But whatever the case is, what I find interesting is like, even when that happened, we texted about it, how like, it's weird because we're not on his side.
Yeah.
And yet we felt terrible about the online backlash because people didn't feel any sympathy. But I think it has to do with the fact that we saw that footage and how traumatic that is.
Yeah.
Because I think in my head, I believe that, I like horror movies. I can handle gore and all that stuff. But I think subconsciously, I didn't realize how heavy something like that is when it's someone that I don't know them personally, but you know more about them than the average online influencer because they talk so much.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. If we had seen real footage of this killing and we saw the blood and gore, I think, even people from the left started feeling sympathy for people on the right, on the Charles Mealing thing, versus this. I think you're right. The right would feel as bad.
Yeah, it's because it's like for some reason, like when we don't see blood, like we just see like somebody get shot. It's almost like we're watching a movie in like a weird way. Because in the movies, you don't see like the gore. You don't see like how dark it actually is.
Yeah.
And then with like this other guy, when we actually saw it, we all felt it. We all were just like, oh man, this dude's straight up gone.
Yeah.
And if they
in the worst way possible.
Yeah. And if they had seen that again with this other person, there would have been a lot more sympathy from the right, and they kind of fear that.
Yeah.
Like once you lose the sympathy from like your own people, you're screwed.
100%, 100%.
The support's gone. You're gone.
Sympathy is definitely it sounds bad, but it's a great way to turn the tide.
Yeah.
But in terms of what's going on, from what I understand, that officer who shot him, they just kind of like disappeared. They're like their whole family basically left wherever they were living, and they're in hiding. And to my knowledge, they are not going to press any kind of charges. They're not going to really do anything about it. As of right now is what I understand. I don't know if you've heard anything different.
From what I've heard, I've only heard like about like the guy that like led the entire thing. What's the guy's name? Do you know?
Pompolino or
Something like that.
Something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I just heard that like he's getting a demotion, that he's no longer going to be allowed to like work in that city, and he's going to like just go back to what he was doing before.
I think this incident has officially turned the tide within the party.
Yeah.
Because they're starting to find scapegoats for the situation, right? So they're getting rid of that guy.
Yeah.
I think Christy something, is that the ICE head of immigration or something? What's her name? Christy Nome?
Ooh, I don't know these names.
Oh, okay.
I'm the worst
But I
with
think
names.
even she's they're starting to push her out and basically be like, deal with this kind of thing. So I think the party wants to separate themselves from this as much as possible because there is nothing they can really, I think they know at some point they're going to have to file charges and do a proper investigation. And there's probably an investigation going on right now, but they know it's not a savable
scenario.
Yeah, there's nothing savable about this.
It's so funny to see that like they all have like the exact same script.
Right.
Like they all are just like, oh no, like he reached for the gun and all this stuff. It's just like, dude, there's no angle where he's reaching for a gun at all.
And I mean, like, playing devil's advocate, when you're in that situation that you have to arrest people, like let's imagine they're not ICE officers or regular police officers. It's unfortunate, but the smallest movement does trigger officers in bad ways, and that's scary. But here's the thing, I think they're federal agents. Federal agents are supposed to be way more trained, way more capable than a police officer because they're federal agents. Their jurisdiction's higher, isn't it?
Yeah, but these guys are not trained at all.
They're clearly not trained well because they're antagonizing people. They don't have tact. They have no tact with these kinds of things. Like, imagine if they had just gone up to people and stopped feeding into it. Because let's be honest, right? Some protesters, they're peaceful, quote unquote, but they're kind of antagonizing. Some of them get a little bit, like in the face, and they kind of want a reaction because they know that these are bad people, and they know that if they get a reaction, it paints a worse picture and it helps the cause.
I think when they do it, it's more like they're trying to get these people out of their communities because they're
100%.
mad. Like they're just like, get out. Like I don't know if it's more antagonizing or more just being like, we don't want you here.
Yeah. But I mean, there's always bad apples in anything too.
Yeah.
I mean, the theory that in a lot of these protests, there's like paid people to ruin it for the peace.
Some things are like staged or whatever.
Yeah.
To like try to like add to it.
Like, I'll give you an example. There's a viral video that's going on right now where this lady, she was arguing with a nice officer, and she was just like, I'm an accountant. I forgot what she was. I think it was something around on the business thing, and she goes like, I make whatever figure, I make 200K a year or whatever. And the ICE officer he was handling the situation really well, like just being like, yes ma'am, go away ma'am, kind of thing. Like that's like, I'm like, okay, that's how you should handle these situations if you're quote unquote doing your job right as a federal agent. But then the one thing that triggered him was, I make 200K a year. Because he goes, how long did you go to school? She goes like 7 years. Then he goes, I make 200K.
Yeah.
All I did was graduate high school. And I'm like, dude, I don't know how to explain this. Like, this is good because you're proving the point for us. Like, you're not properly trained. You're not properly qualified. But like, how much of an idiot do you have to be to admit, hey, I only went to high school and now you're a federal agent?
Yeah.
That's the stupidest
you just
thing.
gave everybody like the ammo that they needed.
Exactly.
Which is funny because there's like this other girl on TikTok. She does like this thing where she will find out like certain agents, like who they are and stuff. There was this one where she found like this guy, and she was just like, okay guys, he lured a kid to his van when the kid was like 17 or something like that. Yeah. And I was just like, damn, like they're just picking up anybody that they can find.
Yep. That's a hard one.
Yeah, it's a hard one to like get out of. Yeah, just like, no, that's bad. It's so funny because I was listening to the Flagrant podcast today. Yeah. Which I never do, but like I saw a clip about them talking about this whole situation, and everybody's like angry at them because now that they're on the side of like, no, what they're doing in immigration is bad now, and everyone's just like, where was this energy like last year, like when you were basically having Trump on your show, when you were doing all like this stuff for like the right, like where were you guys then? Like you guys can't start playing like the victim now that like all of this is happening.
Well, I mean, we talked about this before with with the whole thing with all these podcasts having a lot of like Trump coming on and a lot of different politicians go on the shows, we've been over this. It's not even a theory at this point. They all got paid off.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the accusation some people are making to them, that they got paid off so that they would interview them, but they weren't. Obviously, if you're going to interview a presidential candidate, everything is screened from the beginning.
Yeah.
And an ex-president, because with Trump is an ex-president, he still has Secret Service with him, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna do everything, right? And most of these interviews, when you watch them, they weren't asking the hard questions. They
No.
weren't asking anything like substantial. They
No.
were basically giving them a platform to talk to younger viewers.
Just to be like, oh, like, see, he's also a person. He likes the Mets. He likes ice cream. He's a big fan of pizza. Like, he's just like you.
And
like,
yeah.
and people like relate to that, and they'll be like, because like Flagrant and stuff like that, and like some of like these other podcasts like Joe Rogan, they all are heavy into the youth, like of
Yeah.
men. Like that's who watches these mostly.
Right.
So like they knew what they were doing when like they were showing up to like these shows where Trump was going to be on like Joe Rogan, because he knows his audience. Like he
Right.
knows that he has like that reach.
Right. Because I mean, like, I'll give you an example. The worst thing for me with the whole podcast situation with the politicians is the fact that like you don't have to necessarily sit in that room, interview them, and do anything positive or negative. It's the fact that, let's say Theo Vaughn sits down with the presidential candidate, he talks to them, and you're just kind of like, oh, well, if Theo Vaughn can handle a conversation with them, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. And
Yeah.
now you start to twist your own thoughts too.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy how influential these people are, and it's crazy how much money was probably thrown to get them to get their audience.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
But like what Flagrant did was they were like, here's the thing. Yeah, we may have played like a role in getting Trump elected, but we also had people like Bernie Sanders on. We had Zoran Mamdani on. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they do their the fuck. They do their job when they're just like, okay, I'm gonna like try to see if I can get like the other side in it too.
And it's important to do your due diligence,
Yeah, you can say that word. I hate you. But no, it's so good. And then what I was saying was, have you seen? Because now I'm gonna go down like the conspiracy route, right?
Right.
Have you seen the movie One Battle After Another?
No, but I've seen Shark Tale.
What? So this is like a weird movie that's getting like a bunch of like praise and stuff, and everyone's saying like it's gonna win like movie of the year.
Right.
So basically, there's Leonardo DiCaprio and Tiana Taylor, and their characters, they are revolutionaries, right?
Okay.
And their whole thing is that like we don't like the way that things are going, so we're gonna try and like change it. So this movie, they are basically portraying like the hardcore left, right?
Okay.
And then there's like this other character who's on the right, and he's played by Sean Penn, but he's like super right leaning. And then the first time that we see him, basically like he runs like a camp where they keep the immigrants that have been caught on the border.
Oh.
And like that's his role,
Okay.
right? And then we find out that like he's super into Tiana Taylor's character, and there's like a scene where he's like watching her from miles away through binoculars, just kind of doing like her own thing, how she acts and stuff.
He's peeping Tom.
Yeah, but he full on takes out like his wang and starts beating it.
On the movie?
Yeah. He straight up like starts
Is there like
doing
an
it.
uncensored version?
No. Okay. And he's in his car and he's just going at it, right?
Jesus Christ.
And he's weird as hell because then like he sees Leonardo DiCaprio's character and like
he goes harder.
No. He like stops and you just like, what is he doing? And then like he sees Leonardo like grab her butt and he's just like, oh no, like who's this guy, But then like fast forward, so Sean Penn's
wait,
character.
was that information necessary?
It like helps. It like helps. So Sean Penn's character eventually catches Tiana Taylor in the process of trying to blow up a building.
Okay.
And this dude is so obsessed with her that he's like, you can blow up any building that you want. I just want you. Yeah, he's a freaking weirdo. And so he doesn't even care that like she's blowing like stuff up.
Yeah. He's just
And
into
then,
her.
Yeah, and then like she'll tease him a bit just to try to see if she can like get out of the situation and stuff. And like this dude is kind of insane because like just her presence alone is like worthy of him almost like busting,
He's a simp.
Yeah, he's a straight up simp.
Simp, yeah.
And then I guess she ends up telling him to like meet him at this hotel.
Okay.
Which is like, to try to get out of like the problem. So she's just gonna be like, okay, maybe I'll just like sleep with him or whatever, so then like, he'll leave me alone. And then like there's like a weird scene where there's like it implies that he gets pegged by her.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. But then fast forward, she's pregnant.
Okay.
So that at some point the role switched.
Okay.
And then fast forward even more.
Hey man,
17 years later.
This just sounds like smut. I don't. Your conspiracy theory is.
No.
I feel like you're not sharing a theory. You just wanted to hear.
No. I gotta let it
You
cook.
went through this, and then I have to go through. What you're making me do.
Let it cook. So then 17 years later after that, you find out, spoiler alert for everybody who hasn't seen this movie yet, which is actually
Then
like
he beats
fair.
off again.
He ends up finding out that he is her dad, like of the 17-year-old, right? It's like, so he got the black girl pregnant.
Oh, okay.
This also important. She's black.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that, but yeah. So
No.
Okay, so her character is black. So basically, why this pertains to now is that Sean Penn is trying to become like a part of this elite club. And they ask him like weird ass questions, and they basically like checking to see if he's fit to be part of the elites. And
Okay.
if he's mentally well enough. But then one of the questions,
Clearly not.
Yeah, no, he's insane. And so then one of the questions that he gets is, he's like, has he ever had relations with a black woman or a woman of color?
Whoa.
Yeah, and obviously he has, but he can't have them knowing. Otherwise, that will ruin his chances of being
He has a
allowed
whole
in the
kid.
elite club. Yeah, he has a full-on kid as proof that he did do stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so the whole thing is that he is then sends his troops to find the girl who is now 17 to do a paternal test to see if she actually is his, in hopes that she is not. So then the elite club won't be able to tie this back to him.
Right.
And prove that he indeed did have relationships with a black girl.
Yeah.
So he orchestrates almost like what's going on now, where he drops troops in cities and communities in the area, respond with protest. So then it's kind of like he's egging on the communities and it's like basically it turns into like a whole troops versus the protesters thing.
Right.
But it's not a distraction in the sense that like people are like, oh, this is just a distraction from this.
Right.
It's more of a diversion, where it's make the community think they're taking immigrants in, but the reality is that they're looking for a specific girl.
Okay.
So what if that's happening now, where
A guy was beating off in his car. He liked the girl so much.
No.
He got her, and now okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm just imagine I'm just like, yeah, there was one guy. No.
Just one guy.
Yeah, my whole thing is that like, what if the reason why there are even troops in these areas is because there's actually a secret behind why they're there.
And
Like,
these are the troops.
and then these are the troops that they sent to like make the commotion happen. Because remember a long time ago when there were drones
Yes.
all over America, right, looking
Yeah.
for something. People believed that they were looking for like nukes that got into our country illegally by like
Yeah,
other people.
I've heard that,
right?
yes.
What if this is still tied to that?
You know, here's the thing. You make a very, very weird point. Yeah. I need to clarify.
Yeah, very weird.
You made you didn't have to tell me the beating off detail.
Yeah.
I don't think that helped this detail.
But
I
it's
don't think
funner.
Leonardo DiCaprio grabbing your ass helped.
But it's more fun this way.
I don't know if it was fun. I don't know if it was a good ride.
Yeah.
But what I was going. My God!
Like,
now
I'm
in my
super
head.
distracted.
Yeah, I just kept thinking about Sean Penn this whole time. Was it his daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
It did turn out. And so then like the whole thing is that like he's trying to get her. But what if that's what's happening now, where it's like, you know, what if all of this is a diversion where, you know, maybe there are like these people that are tied to like the nukes or whatever. So like they can't just go into an area and take like these people, because then it'll alert everybody and be like, wait, why are these people being
Yes.
taken? But if there's like a secret agenda behind it where it's like, okay, a lot of people are being taken for
Right.
the sake of immigration. What if that's like their only way to actually get these people without the public being scared about a possible nuke?
Here's the thing with what you're saying. In my opinion, it's highly possible, because before all this started happening, and when we had, and it's gonna sound real right wing, we had those open borders and everything, everyone was coming in.
Yeah.
There were a lot of accusations from other countries, especially China, that we were having people that didn't fit the regular description immigrating, specifically men between the ages of 18 to 24. That's not a normal demographic that comes over from China.
Oh, it was from China.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were using the Mexican border.
Oh, snap.
So the theory was that it will lead into yours, where we're having basically almost like sleeper cells coming to the country.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're cognate about what they're doing. They have a secret mission that they're going to pull off one day. And it wasn't just China. I think it was other countries too. There's video of it too. It's like, wait, these guys aren't even like, how do I say this? They don't look like they've been in distress. They actually look like in clean clothes and everything, you know? I kind of see what you're saying, because what if now this party, whatever, they're secretly That's what happened. They maybe the nukes, maybe the secret agents in here. They're trying to get them out.
Yeah.
That's highly possible. I don't think people know that we're not in a safe time.
Yeah,
This is definitely like a weird time where like you kind of hear rumors of something popping off, and then next week another rumor. Like I saw the other day that that website where you can bet on basically anything. Like, will Sydney Sweeney say 2 oohs or weird things like that?
Yeah.
One of them was, will Iran bomb the U.S. on January 27th? And I'm like, these things don't just show up out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And the guy was like, if I bet $300, I'm going to make $50 real easy. Because he doesn't believe it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm like, these kind of things don't just happen. So
Same thing with like the movie too. I'm like, a lot of times people will be like, oh, it was right in our faces the entire time. And like how appropriate that like this movie came out this year.
Yes.
While all of this stuff is happening,
Yeah. I mean, we got to be careful. I mean, when you go outside, you got to look in the windows. Make sure they're not beating off in their cars.
Exactly. That they're going to be like somebody out there. Like, and like for some reason, I've also heard like the theory that there are certain, celebrities that are almost like agents in like a weird way.
Yes.
That push like these type of narratives.
Yeah.
And I think Leonardo DiCaprio has been named as one of those people.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe he's been in the industry so long. He's played some weird roles.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't he play the role of a scammer?
Did he?
He played the role of a scammer who was basically faking to be a pilot. He faked his whole life. He was running away from it. It was a real story. He wasn't as sexy as the movie.
Yeah.
But it was things like that. So it's like, I feel like he's been involved in some like interesting thing.
Interesting. Yeah.
To leave it off here, have you heard of that viral video? I don't know if it's the same one with the accountant lady I told you about, but it's basically one of the ICE agents is taking his own photo of the protester, and he's saying, all right, congratulations, you're now in our database.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just like, and everyone in the comments is like, did they just admit that there's a database of people? And like, I guess what they're doing is that like, if they take a photo of you or like if they get your information, you're now classified in a database as a domestic terrorist.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's terrifying.
So now it's just like, it's almost making people scared to even like show up and protest because then they're going to be deemed as that.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know. It's weird.
It's a crazy time. Like I said, though, imagine everything, all these conspiracy theories. Let's just pretend.
Yeah.
Nothing is true. It's just all blown out of proportion and the facts are facts.
Yeah.
Again, the worst trained agents I've ever seen, dude. You cannot tell me someone would make a threat. It's not even a threat. It's just like, hey, I want to spook you real quick. There's a database, It's like, you don't say that. You don't tell people, I just got out of high school and I got this job.
Yeah.
Like.
That sounds like you're just like not trained. Yeah, you're not trained at all because they are trained to keep secrets and stuff like this from the public. And they're just like out and about just being like, oh, no, that's actually how it is.
You got to be dumb to say some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, guys, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because it is a little weird how they're just they're not in one area.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Minneapolis has been hot, just like Chicago was before.
It's
but
also
Minneapolis has been like really, really hot with the news.
Yeah. But it's also like this thing where it's like, we live like in like this new age of technology. So they have to kind of do things in a way to not alert the public because of the fact that we have so much technology.
They literally, look, I'm going to just say it. I miss when politics were boring to me.
Same.
I miss when you didn't have, you don't see a statement from the president that's not on an official letterhead.
Yeah.
And it's proper English and proper whatever, right?
My favorite was when like the worst thing that they did was just like steal money from like a charity. You know what I mean?
No,
and now no, like that's as bad as it got. And then now every single day is like a new episode of like the Hunger Games, and we're just like living in like the districts, and we're just like, what's going on with the people in the Capitol? And it's bad.
I mean, it's just always a reminder that no matter how much power, no matter how cool your label ever is, there's always humans.
Yeah.
Always human. And there's good humans, there's neutral humans, there's bad humans, there's hybrid humans.
Yeah.
All that's like
reptilian humans.
Reptilians, there's definitely reptilians. But there's humans out there at the end of the day. None of these people are higher than us at any point in terms of being a human.
Yeah.
And everyone is making human errors, human mistakes, human problems.
Yeah.
And it's just like, my God.
Yeah.
You're telling me all I had to do was go to high school.
I could be making $200K.
Making $200K, dude?
Yeah, just ruining the lives of so many people.
I will say one of the funniest videos I saw in terms of this that made me laugh, and it shouldn't make you laugh because we're for the cause, right?
Yeah.
It was an ICE processor yelling at a car and of an ICE agent, and he opens his window, he's mad, he just goes, you understand? We're going to get a guy who's assaulted kids. Please stop.
Yeah.
This is like, I get what you're doing, but this is a real problem.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And I'm just like,
You know what's so funny about that too? When I was listening to the Flagrant podcast, they actually brought up like this point because like I guess one of like the main guys, he did some research and he found out that out of all of the people that ICE has taken, only about 5 have done like some illegal activities where it's like a violent crime, if they've done stuff with kids or whatever, if they're like, you know, PDF files or whatever. And the other guy was just like, there are more PDF files in the Oval Office than they've actually caught. I'm just like, wow, that is funny.
That's
That is
crazy.
funny.
That's crazy to say.
Yeah. But yeah.
You know what? Let us know. I understand the need to get rid of people that are PDF files.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Violent criminals, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I get that. What I don't understand is just simply these tactics.
Yeah.
Just to leave it off, somebody else made a different podcast, talked about this as well, and their biggest point was like, why are you making so much noise? Like your point about the shadiness to this, like, well, conspiracy theories, like, why is there so much noise every time there's an arrest? Like, hey, we're gonna raid you, and then there's heavy metal music, and then they come in heavy. It's like, why are you making so much noise? It's almost like it is on purpose.
Yeah.
It's on purpose, and it's like, why are you doing this? Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
These kinds of like things they're doing, aren't they supposed to be like kind of incognito? Kind of like low key, because like if you make noise,
it alerts everybody around you.
it's almost like they want protesters.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm so confused.
There
now.
was a scene where that happened in that movie too, where they were just like loud and about, and everybody was just like screaming, just being like, "They're here, they're here," and it just, I don't know. It really felt like it was talking about like the situation that's happening now.
Give it a month.
Yeah.
Either one or two things gonna happen. The Epstein list stuff is gone forever, and this guy's gonna get charged and all that stuff. It's gonna be a big criminal case, or something else is gonna happen, and this case is gonna be forgotten.
Yeah.
This is a bad one.
Yeah, we don't know how this is gonna go.
Well, let us know in the comments below. Like, what is your take on all this? Because I think, honestly, when it comes, I don't know about the other 2 incidents, but when it comes to the lady who got shot in her car,
Yeah. You know,
I have a little bit of a weird opinion on that one.
Okay. There's also like this thing where it hasn't only been 3 people.
It hasn't?
No, there's like this guy. I saw a video where he went to like what was it? It was like a community thing, right? And so he was basically naming all of the people that ICE has killed so far, and it was like a list of 9 people.
Oh, wow.
We've only heard of like 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Why is it only 3 report? Well, I guess 3 only made it out of into the internet. But I want to make it really clear before it sounds weird that I said I have a weird opinion.
Oh, okay.
The video with the shooting in the car, I don't get it. Every angle, I don't know why. Maybe my brain doesn't process this. The angles look so weird. In one angle, completely what I see is just a lady who's just like moving away. But then in another angle, it does look like the officer's in front of the car and he does get hit. And I can't tell. Because it's like, I'm like, dude, I don't know what's real and what's AI. But then in my head, I'm thinking the number one thing that doesn't leave my head is they're federal agents. They're supposed to be trained. And one of the easiest things a police officer's train is don't stand in front of a freaking car.
Yeah, from what I've heard about that specifically, this was an article that was from CNN. I guess that officer, if you can even call him that, was involved.
Yeah, I don't know what else to call them.
It was involved in like something similar where he was trying to arrest somebody and he got caught and they dragged him for like a long time.
Oh, wow.
So there might be some PTSD involved in that one.
That sucks.
And the fact that like this article came from CNN, I was like, okay, maybe this is like true.
So he might have had like, it sparked something.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that might have been why he fired.
That's interesting. I didn't know. I didn't hear about that. Still not okay.
No, for sure.
No, still not okay. Still really bad. But in my head, I just think, why stand in front of the car?
Yeah.
You thought I was LFTBRS POD.
Yeah.
Let us know what your thoughts are and everything, because it's so hard with so much noise out there. I don't want to hear any more personal takes like that guy was an aggressor, that guy this. I just want the facts.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to read any statement without the facts. Even the ones coming from official records. It's like, this freaking domestic whatever. It's like, no, just give us the facts. What happened? What's gonna happen? Done.
Yeah.
God. But yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments, guys. I know, somber episode, but I promise the next one will be just as somber.
And also, let us know if you are like Sean Penn and you do that stuff in your car.
Please don't. Please don't tell us this stuff. I'm still remembering that Best Buy incident where that
Oh,
couple was
yeah.
next to my car,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they just were going at it.
And you
man.
watched, too.
I didn't watch.
This has been
dude.
Alex.
Oh God, I left so fast.
Yeah.
This is James, and I left.
Leftovers.